Hi everybody, happy Friday. I'm back again with the third video this month with the My Creative Scrapbook July Kit, which features a lot of the Simple Stories, Sunshine, and Happiness collection. So I have pulled out a couple summer photos to work with this kit, and I have this photo of my daughter about ready to dive in the water. I think this was from last summer. It may have been from the summer before, but when I had this picture of the photo of her on the dock, I was trying to take into consideration the perspective of the photo of how kind of the dock kind of tapers off into the horizon and then the horizon line. So I'm taking a piece of paper here and kind of putting it at the bottom of my background paper. I'm going to use that blue sheet for the background. And I'm going to try to make kind of the same perspective as the dock, the shape kind of going back towards the horizon. And I'm going to put her photo, the photo at the center or the tip of that point to help draw the attention to the photo. And I decided to use this. I was going to use just a piece of white cardstock or maybe the other corner of this paper, which was just plain white, but I decided to go with the floral prints. I was kind of hemming and hawing about using the floral prints because it was, kind of a watery lake scene, and I wasn't really sure if the floral was, I don't know, going along with it. But then I thought about this paper. I'm like, how can you not use this paper collection and not use floral prints? So I decided to go ahead and stick with the floral prints. And that's what I did. I stuck it underneath my photo there. Okay, so I've gone through the chipboard sheet and a couple of the ephemera pieces and pulled out a couple things. I love that chipboard title that says summer, so I'm going to use that somehow and make it part of my title. And my original intention was to put the title above the photo, but that kind of just took away from the photo. So I pulled it away from the photo to give it its own space there on the page and left the photo as the focus point in the center. And I've pulled out that cute little pink bathing suit, and I'm going to stick that there in the corner. And I'm just going through the rest of the papers in the kit and finding some flowers to fussy cut out. I think there is a piece of paper in this kit that has the whole side of the page with the floral print. I think I may have used it already on a page, and that's why I'm cutting these other ones out. I'm not sure. But the other thing is, when I get these, some of these Simple Stories papers that have like the 2x12 strips, I won't necessarily use the strip as is, like a 2x12 strip on my page. So I look for ways to use the strip, and I look for other ways to use it on my page. So like I'll fussy cut out or punch shapes out of those strips because I really won't use them in the size that they are intended. So anyway, that's what I'm doing, and that's where I get a lot of these flowers from to kind of help pull out the background. I wanted that floral piece that kind of makes the tapered triangle there. I didn't want the flowers just to be on that piece. I wanted kind of to make the edges up there underneath the photo kind of blend out, so that's why I'm adding some other floral bits in there to help that kind of flow a little bit better. I've picked up a couple other little embellishment pieces, some from the die cut pack, those cute little flip-flops, and a couple other little flowers. And I felt like since I was kind of getting heavy with the flowers there in the middle and I had the title on the bottom, I had to have something on the top to help balance that out. And while I was putting this up at the title or up at the top, I thought that it kind of reminded me of the horizon line, and which is very distinct in my photo. So the tapered paper at the bottom and the strip of paper at the top, kind of mimicking that horizon line. That's where the design idea came from. So again, I've pulled the inspiration from my photo to help the design of my page. I was originally going to stick with that blue paper and that peach paper right behind my photo and the pink. Those three colors together, that blue, that kind of magenta, and that peach, are just a gorgeous, gorgeous color combination. And at first I was just going to stick with those three colors because you could easily do it with all the little bits in this kit. But I just love some of those other floral prints, and I really liked the colors and the word summer. So I decided to bring in some of those other colors as well. So while my photo was taken in the summer, it's a little bit gloomy. Um, it wasn't a very sunny day. It was a warm day. And actually, it's kind of nice to have those days in the summer where it's warm but not too sunny, because some days it just gets so hot. So this was a good day to, enjoy the water and being outside for a while without getting fried in the sun. I mean, I know you can still get fried, but it's just kind of nice sometimes to have those days. And the clouds in the background there, I think there may have been a storm looming, as there usually is in the late summer afternoons. Anyway, I love this photo. It was a fun capture and just totally reminds me of what summer is like. So I'm going through some of the other little phrases, and I've pulled out some tags there and kind of filled in a little bit of the white space on the top of my photo. A couple other little flowers there I've scattered around, and you can see I've taken the die cut cloud and put that on the top edge of the page there. And that pattern on the cloud matches the pattern of the background paper, but when I pop it off with a 3D dot, you can see it much better. So you can see what I did right there. I just lifted up the white paper, and I had the entire blue sheet in the background, so I just kind of stuck a little punch in there and punched out another little cloud. So I should have probably just cut that section out and used it for something else. Actually, maybe I do go back and do that. I think I do go back and do that. Okay, so I'm adding some more texture here to the edges of my photo mat and using some mixed media glue, some liquid adhesive, which I use on pretty much everything on my pages. I don't ever really use a tape gun too much unless what material I'm working with makes it easier to use a tape gun. So I have this white mist in my stash. It's the Studio Calico. It says opaque white. I have noticed that this particular one does not show up on some pattern papers. I don't know if it's the finish of the paper or what, but when I drop it on there, it like completely absorbs into the paper and you can't even see a white spot. It leaves maybe a little bit off color spot, but it just doesn't show white. But it does work on cardstock. I don't know, maybe it's how it gets absorbed or something, but it wasn't working. So I was resorting to paint, and I hated the way the paint came out. It was terrible. It was too splotchy. Some of the splatters were yuck. So I'm going through trying to now fix it by purposefully putting white dots on with a paintbrush, and they weren't even dots. They were just like smudges, and I got really frustrated with it. And you can see there, I got some of the paper really wet because I had tried watering down actually I don't even think it's paint, I think I just used white gesso, watering it down a little bit to make it a little bit thinner and easier to splatter. Oh, there's the floral print paper. It's the back of that. That's why I couldn't fussy cut any flowers from it. Anyway, so I got frustrated with the paint, and I do go back and try to wipe it off a little bit and cover up some of the splotches. So not my best painting, splattering effort there. Anyway, it all works out in the end, as it always does. Okay, so I'm going through, you saw I've cut out the little kind of triangle piece behind the white piece. I cut that out from the blue paper. And I'm going to save that scrap because, I need to save all the scraps. Not that I ever go back and use them, because I do not use my scraps hardly at all, but I think I do use another little piece of it on another page in this kit. So the design, I have pretty much, I was pretty satisfied with the basic design of the page, and I'm going through and gluing everything down. And it's relatively a simple page for me, I think, just a few embellishments and not too many other details. I really wanted the photo to kind of stand out. And I also noticed, and I do this sometimes, like I didn't have anything particularly special to say about this page. It was just a really neat photo, and kind of a photo that just, to me, in my mind, said it all about summer. That view for me is a lot of what I see all summer. So I didn't do any journaling on this page, which you know, I usually do a lot of, but oh well, it's okay. It's okay to just use a photo just because you like it sometimes, even if you don't have a lot to say about it. So there I am. I'm trying to cover up that some of those splatters there, and you can kind of see some of the wetness around the paint splatter. I should have probably used a heat gun, but I was being too lazy. I didn't want to get it out. I just wanted to get everything glued down and get it done because it feels good to get it done. And waiting for paint to dry is not one of those things I like to do. So yeah, I don't do too much else to the page. I do add a couple of those tags and some twine and a little bit of stitching. I was originally going to stitch down the edges of the white triangle piece there, the flowers on it on each side, but instead I decided to stitch around my photo. This is a great photo to actually stitch right on the photo because there was a lot of white space. And I don't like to, like if you have a headshot, for example, I don't like to stitch on photos and when you're going to actually stitch over part of a person's body. I don't know, that might seem kind of weird, but I just don't like to stitch over people's heads or arms or whatever. So I like to stitch on photos that have a little bit of a border and when you won't actually stitch over a person's body. I don't know, maybe that's a weird thing, but anyway, so I do add some stitching around, which you can see right there, just a couple random lines. And I stitched over the tag, which helps secure it to the paper, and then just add some twine. And that's pretty much it. So pretty summer page. Again, you have to use those florals if you use this line. And they're just meant to be fussy cut. I mean, come on, you gotta fussy cut them out. They're so pretty. And I think, oh yeah, just one last thing. I add the date here. Keep a whole bunch of those label stickers in my stash and add the dates on most of my pages. So there it is, finished page. Kind of simple, but still pretty. And oh my gosh, there's my terrible paint splatters. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Next Friday is my last video with this kit. Hope you enjoy.